Hey guys, Drifter here. Today we're going to be reviewing the Elgato Key Light. This is the newest product that they just launched. There's a link down there in the description. Just go straight to Amazon if you want to check it out. Because this video is not exactly sponsored by Elgato Gaming. I have no payment or ongoing contractual relations with them, but they did send me the product for free to review. So I didn't pay for this one, is my sponsor disclosure. If you're wondering what this is a light that is designed for streamers, because streamers often sit in dark, dank little caves and play games with only blue incandescent light from the monitors on their faces, but that makes for very poor picture-in-picture or face cam quality, very hard to green screen the green screen out from behind me. So Elgato designed their own light. This is a 2500 lumen LED, not quite a box light. It's a soft light and it has some software features, but let's do a brief unboxing first. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the bottom part real quick. And I'll lay her down flat. And we are gonna go ahead and pull her on out. You get all of your instructions for the light right here on this page. Not that they are, particularly complicated. So I go ahead and lift the instruction page out, fold her on over, and you can see the light itself. This is really where the money's at. If I can get it nice and open. The light itself here weighs about 5 to 7 pounds. It's actually kind of a hefty light. You can see a little wobble when I can't quite stop it. It's not made of paper. Speaking of which, a lot of people think this is made of like simple paper. It's not. Very hard LED surface, very thin on the side, like a lot of new TVs. You've got your control unit in the back. On the bottom, you can see the only button that it has, along with power input, and it's roughly the size of a large personal mirror. Of note, you'll also see a whole bunch of these little screws along the side, both on the shorter side and on the longer side. That's so that you can mount it horizontally or vertically as your lighting requirements may vary. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll just put her down over here. Everything else in the box is much more simple. This is how you would mount the light to your desk, and where the Elgato branding is most noticeable right here. This is a pretty straightforward desk clamp mount. You would screw this all the way down, slide it on the desk, tighten it up. These, I don't know if these are loose or not. Let me check. Now they're loose. These can be adjusted to pretty much any height. And yep, like that. So it can get quite tall, as you can see. That won't be necessary for today. And a little standard camera screw up top that you can adjust left or right so that you can get whatever kind of angle that you want. So very, very straightforward mount, but it's got a decent build quality. It's metal. The plastic seems to have tempered well. There's nothing particularly cheap about it. We got nice padding down here. And finally, the power supply. Now this one's unusual. We're gonna get a closer look at this one. The power supply is unusual because it's a universal power supply. This is a very German engineering solution to a problem, but you've got your DC power in that obviously go to the light, and this, well, obviously this doesn't plug into anything. However, in the package, you will find a plug for basically every single country. So you can, no matter where you live in the world, one of these will work for you. So I'm in America land, Texas as a matter of fact. So just put it on and there we go, and it is good to go. If I were to take this key light to Peru with me and the American plug no longer worked, because they do run some British plugs there, push in, pull it out, and they would use this type of plug and you're good to go. This is a very German engineering solution for a problem. If I went to the Elgato factory in Germany and asked why this instead of a regional version, they would tell me, well, we would prefer to have the perfect solution to the problem so that it never needs to be redesigned. And yes, that's my German accent because everybody there speaks absolutely flawless English, probably better than I do. And let's go ahead and set it up real quick right here on the table. Once you've tightened it, the installation process is pretty straightforward. Just align the hole and screw it in. It won't take very long. It is now installed. Good to go. The only last thing you will need to do is plug in the power. And let's go ahead and take it upstairs so I can show you how it looks in a normal streaming environment. So this is my gaming room slash office slash whatever you want to call it, where I do literally all of my streaming, gaming, content creation, editing, and everything that you see on the channel. And if you say to yourself, Drifter, it looks like you surrounded yourself by a bunch of mess and wires and cables, you're absolutely correct, because I think every streamer ever has a big messy setup. I've got the Elgato green screen behind me, which is super nice. Got my microphone, monitors, there's the Elgato light, all of the other things that I need very rapidly. But today we're here to talk about the light. And we're also recording in OBS right in front of you so that you can see the effects of good and bad lighting. Now, right now you can see in, I think it's switch side, in the corner, you can see some little jaggies down there. You can see that I'm not keying very well. But thankfully, the Elgato light hooks up to your Wi-Fi, home Wi-Fi, for wireless activation and control through your computer, no USBs or anything like that. So I can just click and the light is on, and you see that I am now keyed much, much better. I'm way more beautiful looking at the moment. One of the other things you can do with the light is that you can control it from down to 3% brightness all the way up to brighter than the sun itself. I don't know who would need this particular mode. I think this is a bit excessive, but that is an option that's available to you. I'm yelling because the light is too bright. I need to turn it down. I have really good results on about 15%. One of the other neat things you can do is change the color intensity, or color temperature is a better word for it. So let's turn the light up, super bright, and you can see that I can make a very blue light on my body, like a incandescent light, like a hospital or school light or something like that. Or I can turn it all the way over here to yellow, and I can make it very, very yellow. Anything in between. Let's move it down a little bit so it doesn't blow out my keying. And one of the reasons you do this is because some green screens work better on different lights. There's different configurations. Some people really enjoy this blue washed kind of look. Some people like really rich colors. And it makes a big difference if you're not going to be doing the green screen and you just have a background behind you. It allows you to get some sort of degree of color control. And finally, the last thing the light does, which I think is really neat, is it has built-in Elgato Stream Deck control. So this is my Elgato Stream Deck, and if I hit one button, the light goes off. If I hit a button again, light comes back on. And I have my favorite color temperature and brightness presets saved so that no matter what I screw with, if I'm trying to get better settings here and I don't like it, I can just go back to default really fast on stream with no problems whatsoever. It all just runs directly through the Stream Deck, which is a very nice integration. One of the few things it doesn't do that I wish it did is I wish the Stream Deck had little up and down arrows so that I could click it and like move it up so many lumens or down so many brightness and just kind of have like scales or something. Right now it just has a preset default, but Elgato's constantly updating it, so I assume it'll change at some point in the future. All right, that's the end of the in-room testing, and now it's time for me to give you my opinion on the Elgato Key Light along with some criticisms. In brief, I think this is a very good product, and I'm overall surprised by the quality because, to be fair to Elgato, it kind of looks like a cheap light. It's a little flat light. It's a little white thing. It just kind of looks like a bunch of paper lights, a bunch of paper soft boxes that you see on Amazon. So I was a bit skeptical at first, but the brightness output and the color temperature and the wireless control is all fantastic. The only real downside to the product, the only criticism that I can think of offhand, is that it is an expensive product. This is a $200 light. And I think that most gamers will be able to get optimal green screen lighting with just one of these. I don't think too many people will need two, but everybody's needs and settings and positions and screens and stuff will vary. So for some people, one light may actually not be enough, and you might need two to kind of light, one light your face and one light the screen behind you, which could mean that it's $400. Now, that's a lot of money to spend on streaming or gaming, but that's kind of the whole gaming industry. Everything is ultra premium, everything's ultra expensive, it's the nicest, it's the best, and Elgato is pretty much in line here. $200 is not an inexpensive light, but it's extraordinarily good light. Elgato's always tried to have premium products, and this is in line with all of the other stuff that they make, though a lot of people may not want to spend the $200 and instead opt for anywhere from $20 IKEA lights all the way up to like $1,000 studio lights, depending on what you're looking for. The only other downside that I can think of is that I wish I could unscrew off this bottom piece down here and instead attach it to a tripod or a more traditional mount. As of now, it's pretty much limited to being clamped on a desk only. I can't attach it to other things, but I'm sure I could engineer up a solution and find some adapters, and I'm sure there'll be things like that in the future. Guys, that is all for this review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful, and if you're interested in the light, the link is down there below in the description. Drifter out.
Okay. Whoa, maybe you should like tighten that.
Right, it's tighten. I learned that in my math classes today. Am I tightening this the wrong way? What is this, lefty tighty? What sort of madness is going on here? I'm gonna have to film this, it's embarrassing.